College football has always had its share of great scandals. There's been schools that have paid players before it was legal. Some get free gifts, such as shoes or even tattoos. Some schools get caught cheating in a hilarious fashion. Some have situations that aren't so hilarious. Sometimes these scandals can pop up in the blink of an eye and tear down your legacy. Sometimes they get swept under the rug, never to be spoken about again. Today, I want to talk about one of those scandals that was swept under the rug. One that on its surface seems silly, but changed the trajectory of one team's season and one player's career. On May 6, 2000, Nebraska quarterback Eric Crouch made what people called a campaign appearance for a guy named Jay Matzke, who at the time was a candidate running to be on the NU Board of Regents. After this appearance, an anonymous source alerted the NCAA that Crouch may have received improper benefits during this campaign trip. The NCAA investigated the issue and found that Crouch did indeed receive improper benefits that could result in some sort of punishment. What were the benefits exactly? Well, an airplane ride worth $18.77 and a $4 ham sandwich. Now, at first glance, this so-called scandal might not seem like a big deal. The NCAA found that Eric Crouch rode on Jay Matzke's private jet to Seward, Beatrice, Hastings, and York, all cities in Nebraska, to make appearances for Jay Matzke's campaign to join the NU Board of Regents. This trip would have only been a total of 234 miles if taken by car. After they were done campaigning, the NCAA found that Crouch accepted a ham sandwich at the house of one of Matzke's friends' houses in Hastings, Nebraska. An NCAA spokesperson at the time stated, "Student athletes can campaign, but must act independent of the university and must pay for their own expenses." Because he hadn't paid for those expenses yet, he was in fact in violation of NCAA rules. Jay Matzke told the press that Crouch had intended to pay for the expenses the entire time. The NCAA ordered that Crouch pay back the total of $22.77 and donate it to a charity in order to clear him of any potential NCAA violation. After paying the fine, Crouch would go on to leave the Cornhuskers to an 11-2 season, ending in a national championship appearance where they lost to Miami. Crouch also ended up winning the Walter Camp Award, given to the best player in college football, the Davey O'Brien Award, given to the best quarterback in college football, and the Heisman Trophy, given to the most outstanding player in college football. He would also be named the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year and was listed as a first-team All-American. Crouch would even go on to have his jersey retired at Nebraska and be on the cover of the NCAA football video game the following season. That should be the end of the story of an elite college career and a season to remember. Or should it? Was this plane ride and ham sandwich just an innocent mistake made by a young football player and a family friend? Or was there something much deeper at play that was a catalyst leading to a national championship appearance and a Heisman Trophy winner? I decided to get to the bottom of this super important issue from over 20 years ago to see what I could find. The first thing I wanted to find out in my investigation was who is this Jay Matzke guy? And what in the heck is this whole NU Board of Regents organization he was campaigning for? When I first saw this story, I just assumed this guy was running for local office and, was a friend of Crouch's that needed help. Maybe he was one of the good guys, someone who would build up his community and fight for the people. After doing some digging, I found on the Nebraska school website that the Board of Regents is the governing body for the University of Nebraska. The board provides strategic leadership to the university, promoting and advocating for the advancement of the university's mission of education, research, and outreach. Among its duties, this is important here, the most important rules include selecting the president of the university and approving the budget and tuition rates. Matzke would end up being elected for the board, having a direct hand in the high-level decisions for the university, including their budget. I wonder if Crouch was able to get anything else out of this deal from the university. Is this an innocent governing board of the university, or a secret underground organization of Nebraska's wealthiest boosters pulling all of the strings behind the scenes? Like I said earlier, the NCAA did say that Crouch could partake in the campaign, but that he must act independent of the university. Are we to assume that Eric Crouch was invited to this campaign as regular old Eric from Nebraska, with no affiliation to the university at all? Or was he invited as star quarterback for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, Eric Crouch, the speed demon quarterback who would go on to win the Heisman? Oh, yeah, I'm sure that didn't help Matzke's campaign at all, with all 4 cities they traveled being quite close to the university in Nebraska. Eric Crouch ended up paying the fine given to him and donating it to a charity of his choice. That $20.77 may seem like a small amount, but today it would be a staggering $37.11, adjusting for inflation. How did he end up paying for this fine in the first place? It sure would be nice if there were a secret board of people in the background that was able to throw money at all of your problems. If you put money aside for a second, it's tough not to think about what other kinds of deals were made at these campaign events. Who's to say Crouch didn't become close with some of the big Nebraska boosters during this time, setting him up for a life after football? Regardless of the money and networking, you may ask yourself, so what? All I got was a ham sandwich. Why is this such a big deal? Well, have you ever seen what exactly is inside of a ham sandwich? Deli meat ham has on average around 12 grams of protein. It includes minerals such as iron and vitamin C. If we look at these 3 things individually, we'll see that iron is the protein in red blood cells that's responsible for transporting oxygen to your organs and tissue. Many doctors and scientists have attributed iron deficiencies to low energy levels, which could be bad for a quarterback who relies on their running ability. Vitamin C can help promote immune function and can even increase iron absorption, making it even less likely for an iron deficiency. So he was running around pumped full of iron and vitamin C, full of energy each game, probably getting ham sandwiches every week from this guy. The protein from the sandwich helps with the growth and formation of new muscular tissue. It also helps repair any muscle fibers that may have been damaged through exercise. How did all of these supplements affect Eric Crouch? Well, in the 2000 season, Crouch passed for 1,101 yards and rushed for 971. A year later, and after this incident, Crouch surpassed those stats, passing for 1,510 yards and rushing for 1,115 yards. He even had a 63-yard receiving touchdown. If we let a ham sandwich slide, then where does it end? Was this even the first time that Crouch received suspicious supplements from Jay Matzke? Nebraska's director of compliance during the time, Gary Bargan, was interviewed about the incident and stated that Jay Matzke used to be Eric Crouch's doctor. What if Matzke's been pumping up Eric Crouch full of performance-enhancing drugs from an early age, grooming him to become the next star of his favorite team? I could be coming out of left field with a lot of these questions. And with the way players get paid today, this might seem insignificant. I just wanted the facts of what happened to be thrown out there so that the American public can form their own very biased take like we Americans love to do. The problem is that Eric Crouch knows he got away with a huge scandal and would even mock the NCAA about it. In 2019, Ohio State's Chase Young was under investigation for supposedly taking a loan from a family friend. Crouch ended up tweeting out to Young, "I'm sure you'll be good," at YoungChase907. I had a similar situation at Nebraska. Decided to have a ham sandwich, which was given to me. Yeah, I'm sure you'll be good, Chase Young. You can tell that Crouch doesn't take the NCAA seriously here and assumes Young would get away with any violation he committed. The NCAA would learn from their ignorance with Crouch and ended up suspending Chase Young for 2 games that season. It's hard to say whether or not Eric Crouch and the Nebraska Cornhuskers should have faced harsher punishment for this infraction at the time. Since that 2001 season, Nebraska has had 136 wins and 112 losses, barely getting over a .500 winning percentage. They haven't had a winning record in 6 seasons and are struggling to have one this year as well. Is this once elite program's struggle to keep up with the times a coincidence, or is it karma for what they got away with before their magical 2001 season? Well, I'll let you be the judge. Thank you for watching the College Football History channel. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. I would love to hear any suggestions you have as a listener to make the show even better. Also, if you have any topics you'd like me to look further into, feel free to reach out.